Hello everybody, it's Ken Faulkner. Got a video with some knives and something I've been wanting to do for a while and just like not really sure how to go about explaining this. Grails, you hear that term a lot and I've used it before. And the thing is what does that mean? What does that really mean? I mean, I think it comes from the idea of the Holy Grail, right? And I think, well, Holy Grail is like only one of those, right? There's only one in existence anywhere. But when I think of Grails, I got many knives that I think of as Grails, and for different reasons. And um, so yeah, that's I've been kind of putting it off because I don't really know exactly how to explain it. And my girlfriend was asking me to explain it to her, and of course, she's not really a knife person. So I get started, and she gets all glassy-eyed, and she's like, "Okay, never mind." So it's kind of funny. I think you guys will understand this a little bit better, uh, coming from people in the community, people interested in checking out knives. Um, just collected knives. I mean, maybe it's just where I live because it's California. It's not exactly known as an area where people are carrying knives a lot and collecting knives. There are a few around in this area that I know, but they're not like right down the street. I don't have like a lot of neighbors. I don't have anybody really. There's one guy at work. He does understand a little bit, but then I'll tell him, "Hey, do you know about this brand or that brand?" And he doesn't know. And then there's a friend at work that just loves to see all my knives, but it's all brand new to her. She doesn't know anything about it, but she just loves it. I think her son was into collecting knives, and that's the reason why. Anyway, so you get into collecting, and how do you start figuring out what you want to buy? And obviously, price is going to be a big thing. Starting out, and the amount that you want to spend on a knife right up front for most people, at least it was for me. And I think understanding wise is that most people getting into buying knives are going to start out with some less expensive knives. But then when you get into Grail knives, you're talking about a decent amount of money, and it's more than I ever thought I could spend on a knife when I first started. And that's kind of another thing about Grail knife. It's almost like an unobtainium thing. It's like a something that you notice out there, and it would be so cool to have, but you don't think you'll ever have. I was mentioning it to my girlfriend. It's something that she understood. When you're in high school and you're just you're always thinking about dating somebody or whatever, and there's this one girl or maybe a few girls that you see, or guys if you're a girl or whatever you like, and you see them and you're thinking, man, if only I could be with that person. That's kind of a Grail kind of situation. Or another case would be cars, right? Because there's so many brands of cars and so many just flashy, fancy cars, and you have that car that, man, if I could just own that car, what would that be like? What would it be? Amazing. And I think you can apply this to a lot of different things, especially if you collect anything. There's going to be certain things that you would just really, you really love to have, but you don't know if you can ever get it. It may be hard to find, whatever. So the grill is kind of like that. And, it's funny. I'll watch other people's videos, and they'll be showing their knives, and I'll watch somebody's video, and I'm looking at their knives that, like, this is what I carried today, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm looking at going, oh my gosh, these are all such amazing knives. And the thing is that wherever you are in your collecting, I think there's some people that are looking at your stuff and thinking, man, that is really awesome. And then at the same time, you're looking at somebody else's stuff over here, and you're thinking, man, that is just, out of this world. It's like, it's amazing that they own these knives. I got a fairly big collection, so I kind of weeded it down, and I'm going to do it in two parts because I already, been talking for 5 minutes. And once I start showing the knives, it takes a long time. So this one's kind of like part one of Grails. These are more probably ones that over time I became aware of, and then started looking for them to be on sale, checking the prices, thinking about, well, can I save up for this? What's going to happen? A lot of times it's, some of them are like blade shows. Some of them are just a deal kind of shows up. Some of them are just the right place, the right time, or there's a sale or something like that. So anyway, let's get into the knives. We'll start over here from left to right. This is the Custom Knife Factory Evo 3.0. And it is a very beautiful knife. Actually, it was funny. I was watching Tri-State this morning. This is Sunday. He does his Sunday morning live, and he's talking about how, the CKF knives are made in China. And he's going, well, everybody knows that. But the funny thing is when I first started seeing these knives, I kind of knew that they were a Russian company, but I didn't know that the actual blade parts were made in China and then shipped to Russia. I didn't even know that. But a big part of what I like about these knives is it's because of my early collecting days back when I wasn't thinking about practicality, and I wasn't even, thinking about carrying the knives. I just wanted to own them, and I would get like wild fantasy stuff, nothing real expensive or anything like that, but just really cool battle axes and swords and big old knives and things like that. And this kind of is a premium knife, but it does have that fantasy kind of look. This kind of makes me think of like a pirate sword or something like that. That big belly, that amazing, of course, knowing more about knives, that amazing hollow on it is just unbelievable. With this big blade to come down this thin. I love the bark pattern on this. So there's all these little features that you see in these amazing knives that you see in other people's collections, or you saw them at a show or whatever, and you're thinking you're never going to get a hold of one. This one I ended up buying used, and it made it somewhat affordable to me, and it was also helping somebody out who needed to raise money, so it kind of gave me an excuse too. So that's kind of a combination that happens quite a bit for me, actually. Never unhappy, never feel like I'm getting ripped off or like I'm spending money that I don't really want to spend. Maybe spending money that I wouldn't spend otherwise, but I got that excuse. I'm helping somebody out. Next one. This is a beautiful knife, and this is for this Grail, calling this a Grail. This is more the company itself. This is TRM, Three Rivers Manufacturing. And it's just one of those companies that you're watching videos, you're watching people show knives, and they're showing these knives, and you go to look for them, and it's just like super hard to find them available. Some people are really, really good at finding things. I guess I've gotten better over time about finding things on sale that are not normally that easy. If you're just going to go to Blade HQ every time to look for something, you may see these on the screen, but they're always saying sold out of stock or whatever. This one I got at a blade show. So this was a case where I knew I was going to a blade show. I knew I was going to spend money. And I actually had said, I'm going to go. I saw them on the list of people with booths. And I said, I'm going to go there. I'm going to buy this knife. And that was the plan. And it just happened to be, this is like one of their bigger knives. That was kind of one of the things that it's the Atom. One of the things that drew me to this one particularly, and this titanium cool pattern. I mean, the way that it just kind of expands out from very small over here and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger all the way down. Very just beautiful, very cool. I was actually thinking about getting a burlap micarta version of it, and my girlfriend was with me, and sometimes she's trying to keep me sane with knives, but every once in a while she'll give me a little support and say, if that's the one you wanted, you should get it. And I think there's definitely an argument for something that you've decided, you've thought about it, and you kind of decided, and you kind of set your mind to it, and therefore you should go ahead and do it. Once you've given it some time, not necessarily. I think any of these are like impulse buys per se. Sometimes it happens to come up. Another example of that would be this knife here, the Shaman. I remember before I'd been to a blade show, watching, or maybe I'd been to one local, but not the real blade show in Atlanta. They're all great, but Atlanta's just something else. Anyhow, I remember seeing River's Edge Cutlery, and the guy from there was walking around in an avocado suit. You may remember that year. It was a big deal. Then they were going around, and everybody had to say "Holy guacamole," and they got like I think it was a ticket or something like that to get in the raffle to win a Shaman with green handles and the tan blade. And man, I just that's really cool, and it kind of stuck with me. And after that, the Shaman, as far as Spyderco was concerned, because I'd already had some Spydercos in the collection, but the Shaman was definitely put into that Grail category for me. And in the case of this knife, this is a situation where Nick from Behind the Edge, and he's a great guy, a good friend, and he is always giving back to his supporters. And I've been supporting him from the beginning because I just really like his channel. I think he's just got incredible knowledge. So I'd recommend you go in there and check out his channel. He does lots of giveaways. But he something had happened. I can't remember all the details, but he needed to sell this knife, and it's something that was kind of surprising. And he's mentioned this before. It's not like a real secret that he had to sell knives for certain reasons that he didn't want to sell. And so I ended up buying this from him, but he had already done the work. He'd gotten the Rips Garage Tech scales, titanium. He'd gotten the Lynch clip, the deep carry, and he had gotten the Shaman with a CPM 15V. So all those things were very special, and he really loved this knife. And in a way, I felt bad about buying from him, but I knew that he wouldn't have sold it if he didn't need to. So, and I definitely really love this knife. So, at least he doesn't have to worry about it. Somebody that doesn't really enjoy the knife. So, yeah, that was a great opportunity for me. And then another knife from this one is Renegade Provisions, the Ganer. And this is one of the ones that I've been wanting for a long time. And then I was looking, probably, I think it was Black Friday, but there was some kind of sale going on. And so it's like that time of year, and I was waiting for this one to come around. This one, Brandon Thrasher, he always had one of these, and he loved it. Brandon Thrasher is the one I ended up picking this one up from. And this is one that I learned about and became enamored with from him talking about it. The same with this knife, but this one was one that was on sale, and it just happened to be a really amazing price. And yeah, I decided I needed to do that. So, and it was his inspiration from him talking about it, and it resonating with me. Scab talks about vibe knives, something that you vibe with, just the concept. This has got a little bit of the a similarity. And then it's funny that both of these are inspired by Brandon Thrasher, because they both got that hollow grind, and they're both big knives, and they both kind of like have a fantasy sort of thing about it. This one more so just because it's a big knife. It's just a big monster knife. Ganer was the spear of Odin. So the Renegade, they tend to have those mythological names with their blades. And so yeah, I picked that one up, and it was like, I can't believe I'm actually getting this knife. And then you have to wait for it to show up. You're waiting for that thing to come in the mail. It's crazy. And you're I don't know, if you're like me, I mean, I kind of stress out on things. I got a little bit of anxiety issues, and then when I'm watching things coming in the mail, it can really get to me. I think I mentioned that before in a couple of videos. Speaking of Scab from Choir Boys Outdoors, another channel you should check out, but he's a really big channel now. He's doing really well. But if you haven't checked out his stuff, he's got a lot of, I mean, he's just knives in general, but he's kind of known for his big fixed blades and hard use videos where he takes them out, and he's not trying to break anything. He's just showing how it works, and that's how he kind of presents his channel, as a way to see. You go to the channel, and I love it. Just watch him do the stuff, see how the knife performs when he's out there, and he's out in Florida, so he's got a lot of. He says he's going out to the swamp or going a lot of places where there's plenty of stuff to chop on. And anyway, he always talked about the Harsey, a Spartan Harsey folder, and that's where I kind of started my desire to own one of these knives. And so this was one that came up. I was in a live. I've told the story before, but I was in a live, and somebody mentioned, hey, Spartan's got a sale going on. So I kind of like, I'm on my computer watching the live, and I open up another window and go to the website for Spartan, and I see them, and I forget what the price was that they were selling them. I think I got this for under $400, and normally they're like $550 or something like that. And one of the cool things about these knives is that they come with different patterns on them. I'm not sure what the process is that they're using for that, but they have all kinds of cool patterns. This is the one that was available at that time. It's a S45VN. They've kind of moved into to Magna Cut now, so I think that might have been part of the reason they're dropping the price, is to get out the 45 S45VN knives. But it's a great steel, and this is a great knife. I mean, very solid, big knife. All these knives, big knives. So it kind of gets you in a, and I mentioned it before that I do love big knives. And so when it comes to spending a lot of money, or it comes to a Grail, something that I've been dreaming out for a while, it's going to probably be something fairly big. What's the smallest one here? I think it looks to me like maybe the smallest one is the Atom. And if I can find my, just out of curiosity, we're talking about 3.5-inch blade. And then maybe the longest one might be the Ganer, and we're talking about 4.5-ish, about 4.5. So, that's a great size knife as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I don't know what you think about these knives. Some people might think, well, those are just like average knives for me, because they just, or maybe they're not even to the level that they buy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's at different levels. And there's other people that are going, man, I can't believe Ken has all these knives. He is so lucky. And I am blessed to have all these knives. Regardless of what anybody thinks about it, I am super happy to have these knives. And so, I want to kind of talk to you about it, show the stuff, kind of wondering how you guys feel about Grails, and what is the definition, and what is it that inspires you to want that knife enough to call it a Grail. Anyway, I got a part 2 coming up with this. Another 5 knives. And not sure when that'll be. Maybe next weekend. We'll see. Maybe Wednesday. I'm intending to put out the longer ones on Saturday, Sunday, or Wednesday. And otherwise, I'll have some shorter ones during the week as well. So, all right, guys. Super long video. I've been trying to keep them a little shorter. Now I'm over 20. That's not even all that bad for me, really. But thanks a lot for watching, everybody that watched. I hope this is going to be something that will be fun for you guys, because it was kind of fun for me to think about doing it. So anyway, I guess I could mention that the giveaway, I got that email from Tampa's Hot Wheels, so I'm super happy about that. So I'll be starting to make that collection for the next giveaway, whenever it'll be. I mean, maybe it probably won't be until after the holidays. I got to kind of try to stop. I keep saying this, and why do I keep saying it? But try to stop buying so many knives so I can buy presents for people, and then we can worry about getting back into knife buying and giveaways and stuff like that in the new year. But anyway, guys, I hope you're having a good holiday season. We got Thanksgiving coming up right now, as of the moment that I'm watching, making this video. I don't know when you're watching, but so I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving coming up. And all right, guys, I will see you on the next one. Bye.